So in the previous session we have seen an algorithm to test whether the given decomposition is lossless or not, right? So we have a universal relation, we will divide or decompose that into a set of relations, and we have to ensure that this decomposition is having a lossless join property. We have seen an algorithm for that. Now we can see a special case of this decomposition, that is binary decomposition. Okay, so binary decomposition is a decomposition of a relation into just two relations. Okay, so the decomposition will be just two relations R1 and R2. In that case, we need not go through the entire algorithm to test for this lossless join property. Instead, we have a simple condition. Okay, if that decomposition satisfies the corresponding condition, we can say that it is lossless. So we can see what is the actual condition to be tested here. The property is that a decomposition D is R1 and R2 of R has the lossless join property with respect to a set of functional dependencies F on R if and only if either of these two conditions happens. The first condition is that the functional dependency R1 intersection R2 to R1 minus R2 is in F plus, or the same thing for the reverse, that is R2 minus R1. R1 intersection R2 functionally determines R2 minus R1 is in F closure. So either of these conditions is satisfied, we can say that the corresponding binary decomposition is having lossless join property. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to find S closure first. F is a set of functional dependencies, we have to find S closure, and we have to check whether this functional dependency is there or this one is there. We have to take the intersection of these two different relations. Okay, so common attributes will be taken here, that will be the X part, and at the Y part either the attributes which are present in R1 but not in R2. Okay, that can be taken as the Y part. If such a functional dependency is there in S closure, we can say that this decomposition is lossless, or this thing also can be checked for. That is, the common attributes again will be the X part, and at the right side we have the attributes which are present in R2 but not in R1. That can be the Y part. If such a functional dependency is there in S closure also, we can say that the corresponding decomposition is lossless. Okay. And there is a claim regarding the preservation of non-additivity in successive decompositions. Okay, you know what is successive decomposition, right? Initially we will have a universal relation, we will decompose those into a set of relations R1, R2, etc. Rm, right? Again these Ri's will be decomposed further. Right? There can be a chain of decomposition. Those are called successive decompositions, and the claim is that if a decomposition D as R1, R2, etc. Rm of R has a lossless join property with respect to a set of functional dependencies F on R, and if a decomposition Di equal to Q1, Q2, etc. Qk of Ri has the lossless join property with respect to the projection of F on Ri. Okay, that means the entire set of decompositions R1 to Rm is having the lossless join property, and we further decomposed one of the Ri. Okay, Ri as Q1, Q2, etc. Qk, and this Ri, the corresponding decomposition is also having the lossless join property with respect to the projection of F on Ri, right? We will take the projection of F on Ri as the set of functional dependency for this particular decomposition set. If both of these are having lossless join property, then the decomposition D to R's the entire set, that is R1, R2, etc. Ri minus 1, and instead of this Ri we will have the corresponding components, that is Q1, Q2, etc. Qk, then the remaining Ri plus 1 to Rm. This entire decomposition is also having the non-additive join property with respect to F. This is our claim. Okay, so keep in mind this will be useful when we do problems. Now let us get into the algorithms for relational database schema design. Okay, so that is relational synthesis. Okay, we have a number of algorithms, and first one we are going through is relational synthesis into 3NF with dependency preservation. Okay, so if you are using this algorithm, each and every relations will be in third normal form, and also they are having the property of dependency preservation. So as we know, we have to ensure two different properties when we decompose a relation, right? Those are actually dependency preservation property and non-additive join property. So if you are using this first algorithm, dependency will be preserved, but there is no guarantee that the corresponding decomposition will have in the lossless join property. Okay, let us go to the algorithm first. So input to this algorithm will be a universal relation R, that is all the attributes of our database as a single relation R, then a set of functional dependencies F on the attributes of R. These are the inputs. And the first step for this algorithm is, using the algorithm we have already learned, find a minimal cover G for F. That is the first step. Okay. Then after finding this minimal cover, we have to take each and every dependency in this minimal covered. Okay. So for each left hand side X of a functional dependency that appears in G, what we have to do is create a relation schema in D with attributes as X union, A1 union, A2 union up to AK. Okay. So and what are these AIs? X determines A1, X determines A2, etc. X determines AK are the only dependencies in G with X as the left hand side. Okay, and X is the key of this relation. So take all those attributes which are at the right hand side of this X dependency, where X is the left hand side. Take all those right hand side attributes and you take the union of those together with X, and this will form a relation D, relation schema D. Okay, and this will be repeated for every functional dependency. Okay, so we have to take each functional dependency in the form X determines something. Okay, X in the left hand side, and wherever X appear in the left hand side, take the corresponding right hand side attributes and take the union of all those attributes together with X. That will form a relational schema D. Okay. So after doing this, almost all the attributes will be part of some relation, right? Now the third step is place any remaining attributes that have not been placed in any of the relation. All those will be collected. Then place all those attributes in a single relation schema to ensure the attribute preservation property. So we already seen what is the attribute preservation property, right? That is when we decompose a relation into a set of sub-relations, the attributes may be components of some of these relations, right? And none of the attributes in the original relation should be lost. We have to keep all those attributes in at least one of the relation. Okay. To maintain that property, here also we are taking all the remaining attributes after step 2 and place all those into a single relation. Okay. And the claim here is that every relation schema created by this algorithm will be in third normal form. Okay. So output of this algorithm will be a set of relations, and all those will be in third normal form. And one more thing is that this decomposition will be having dependency preservation property also. Now let us see an example for this algorithm. Okay, so we are given a relation U with these attributes. So employee social security number, project number, employee salary, employee phone number, department number, project name and project location are the attributes. And depending on the properties of these attributes, a set of functional dependencies are also given. FT1 states that employee's SSN, social security number, determines employee salary, phone number and department number. And FT2 says that project number determines project name and project location. The third dependency states that employee's SSN and the project number together determines employee salary, employee phone number, department number, then project name and project locations. So these are the dependencies given. Now we have to apply the minimal cover algorithm to reduce the dependency set, or just to remove redundant information from this dependency set. So you remember the algorithm, right? Minimal cover algorithm. Apply this algorithm to this set of functional dependencies to get the minimal level functional dependencies set. And now by seeing this dependency, the third dependency, we can see that the employee SSN and project number are the keys for this relation. And when we apply this minimal cover algorithm, we can see that the project number in this dependency to determine employee salary, employee phone number and department number is redundant, right? So in this dependency, project number is redundant, and also employee SSN and project number determines the project name and project location. In that case, this employee SSN is redundant, right? Only the P number is enough, right? So altogether these dependency is actually redundant. So when we apply the minimal cover algorithm, we will get only these first two dependencies. Okay, that is enough to represent the entire relations between attributes. So the minimal cover for this set of functional dependencies will be the first two one. FD1 is employee SSN determines employee salary, employee phone number and department number, and the project number determines project name and project location. This is the second dependency. This will be the minimal cover for this set of functional dependencies. So after finding the minimal cover, what we have to do is we have to apply the algorithm, right? This was the algorithm. That is, for each left hand side x of a functional dependency that appears in G, create a relation schema D with attributes x union all those coming under right hand side A1, A2, etc. AK. Okay, so we have to take each and every relation from this minimal cover. So let us first take this employee SSN determines employee salary, employee phone number and department number. So X is employee SSN, and at the right hand side we have employee salary, employee phone number and department number. We don't have any other dependency having the same employee SSN at the left hand side, right? So only one dependency is there. So form a relation for that. Okay, so we are forming a relation in which the attributes are the X union Y. X is employee SSN and Y is employee salary, phone number and department number. And what should be the key for this relation? The X part itself, that is employee SSN, will be act as the key for this relation. So first dependency is over. Then going for the second dependency, that is project number determines project name and project location. We don't have any other dependency having the same P number at the left hand side, right? So form another relation in which the attributes will be the project number, project name and project location, right? All the three attributes together will be the components of this relation, and what will be the key? The project number should be the key, right? So we have R2 with three attributes: project number, project name and project location, in which project number is the key. So this is how we can decompose our universal relation into a set of relation using this algorithm. So we have two different component relational schema here, R1 and R2 with attributes here. And we can check whether all the attributes are covered by these two different relations. Yes, all the attributes are covered, so no more attributes or attribute preservation properties also maintained here. So this is how we can decompose a relation using this first algorithm. And we have to note one thing here is that when we decompose into two relations R1 and R2, some of the information from this original relation will be lost. Say here we can see that there can be chances that the same employee works on different projects, right? So we are storing all those information together. We are storing for each employee details of all the projects and all. Corresponding to each such project, there can be a separate tuple. But when we decompose this into components for each employee, we are storing this information alone, right? Salary, phone number, department number together with the SSN value. And for each project, we are storing the project name and location together with the project number. but the information regarding same employee managing or doing different project, those information will be lost actually when we do this decomposition, right? So there is no guarantee of preserving all those information if we are using this algorithm. So we have to say that the resulting design is a lossy design. Okay, lossy, lossless, no, it's not a lossless one. It can be lossy. Some information may be lost from the original relation. Okay.